stay focused and never quit, man. You're gonna have a lot of days that tell you to stop. You're gonna have a lot of things that tell you to, this sucks, this is hard, maybe it's not gonna work out, but you just have to stay the path, stay the vision, be very strict with yourself that I'm not going down until this thing takes me down.
This is Biz Ninja Entrepreneur Radio with your host, Tyler Jorgenson.
Welcome out to Biz Ninja Entrepreneur Radio. I'm your host, Tyler Jorgenson, rolling through our 15th year. We've had some amazing guests, and we've had some really cool, different spirit brands through the last 2 or 3 years, thanks to our friend Taylor Foxman, who has made some amazing introductions. And so I want to welcome out to the show somebody who has created one of the most unique brands that we're going to talk about today. The brand is Dirty Dill. And our guest is Dan Graves. Welcome out to the show, Dan.
Thank you. I'm excited. Thanks for having me. And shout out Taylor Foxman. She is the bomb.
Absolutely.
She's the ultimate connector.
Master connector for sure. All right, Dan, what is Dirty Dill?
Well, we're a pickle shot. So it's a vodka-based pickle shot. We do a pickle brine that we created over the years that would go well with vodka and kind of saw a white space in the industry that I think there's a little bit of flavor fatigue when it comes to these flavored spirits. Most of them are just a bunch of sugar, and everybody and their mother wants to come out with cinnamon or peanut butter or whatever. And luckily we're a little ahead of the curve, but we got into the pickle business. Pickle business is booming, as most people see. I mean, ramen just came out with a pickle flavor. Yeah, you can go to the store and see pickle flavored anything now. So we were a little ahead of the curve, but yeah, we make a really, really good juice. Again, proprietary brine, really quality vodka. It's 100% corn vodka. So similar to like a Tito's, obviously not that high quality. It is a shot. But yeah, man, it's good juice. It's fun branding. And I think it fills a good white space for the consumer. So
I love that. I've been seeing that growth. And so it's really cool to know that you're like ahead of it and ahead of that trend. You're early in that space. But if you like zoom back before all of this, right? When was that first moment in your life where you realized you were an entrepreneur?
I love that question. I went to college here. I played college baseball. I was, a dirt bag is what they call them. I did not know at all what I wanted to do. Most kids don't when they're 18 or 19 years old. All I knew is hopefully I can start throwing 95 and get drafted and play pro ball. But, that didn't happen. I didn't progress that well through college. And in my sophomore year, I didn't even know what I was going to major in. I took a business 101 class, and they mentioned entrepreneurship. I didn't know what the word meant. My dad was self-employed. He ran his own construction company, and I always really appreciated that. He was able to coach our teams and be around a lot more. And he always kind of preached on how cool being self-employed was. Sometimes I wish I didn't listen to that because it's difficult. But yeah, man, they brought that up in the class, and I didn't know, again, I didn't even know what the word was. I didn't even know what that would entail, but something just clicked there. And I'm like, that's cool. That's cooler than the word self-employed, like building a real legitimate business and being a creator. I'm a creative person. My brain never stops. So yeah, that resonated, and I immediately just like really dug my heels in. I decided to take business. The school I was at, Colorado Christian, was very into entrepreneurship. And so, just kind of, we started business planning different things even back then. So it's been in the blood, I think, for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. It's interesting that most people that I talk to, if they weren't an entrepreneur from like birth, then somebody in their family was, and it was almost like it was a dormant thing. It's like, okay, it's there. It just hasn't been activated yet until later on. But I think when you grow up seeing someone have a little bit of that autonomy of owning their own business and some of the benefits of it. But like you've said, it's not easy, right? Like there is a trade-off, right? Of working for yourself. What was your first jump into business?
Yeah, so actually in college, we had a fun project. We actually had an entrepreneurship class, and part of that was you're going to build basically build a business plan, build a pitch, and whoever won in that class got to go to a like actual pitch competition. So me and three other guys built something called Lifebox back then. It was basically like care packages for college students. We won the class. We went and did the pitch and actually placed and like got a little bit of money to put in the business. Really funny. Again, we're all like 19, 20 years old, have no idea what we're doing. That we got like $20,000 put into the business, which we thought was so much freaking money.
Oh yeah.
I was playing college baseball, so I ended up just as we kind of kept going in there, I was like, I can't do this anymore. That was like a 6-month project, and it was fun. I did learn some of the basics of entrepreneurship, like how to build a pitch deck and how to build a business plan, and how to actually get up in front of people and pitch your brand. And then going out of college again, I graduated. I got married really early. I was 23. I have to pay the bills, right? So, as I mentioned, my dad was a construction guy. He taught us all some things. So I started just doing some construction on the side to try to build some other things. Again, I think one of the things probably a lot of young entrepreneurs do is they think it's a lot easier. They don't really realize all the steps in the process to build something. So I tried a few things. I tried some apps and, like really never got anywhere with it. But at the meantime, again, I had to pay bills. So I was doing construction projects. I turned that into a business. I realized, wait a second, there's an opportunity here to make some serious money and actually build something, not just project by project, but build a real business and have employees and have a brand and hopefully something that might be even sellable. So that's what I did. I built that thing for like 7 years, and then COVID hit. I never really loved construction anyways, and we'll talk about that's kind of how the same time frame that this kind of started to evolve. So
Yeah. And so, you started getting a couple of, we'll call it like your practice runs, right? Where the college pitch comp, you started doing some construction on your own. But jumping into the alcohol business is not easy, right? A lot of regulations. Most people are not self-financing and funding these things. So raising capital, this is a big jump from a college competition into, we'll call it a real business, right? Or a business with some real complications. What were some of the biggest mistakes you made at the beginning and how'd you overcome them?
yeah, so I had this idea and I ended up going out and networking, finding some business partners. One we ended up buying out. So it's still me and one of the main guys. He's been in the alcohol industry for, 20 years. And that, like you say, with the regulations, the licensing, the compliance, that's a big barrier to entry. Most people are like, where would I even start with that? So we got into it that way. I could write a whole book on the mistakes we've made, but I think we did kind of underfund it, really, really tried to bootleg it. You do need the more capital, the better when you're building a brand. It just makes things, not easy, not even just easier, but your risk is lower the more money you have. Like you make one small mistake, it's a big money mistake. You just ran out all your capital. You don't have a business anymore, right?
Yeah.
So, specifically, I think how we went about the licensing, how we went about the compliance, there's streamlined options to do that. We did that all in house. We screwed some things up and had to pay a lot of money for it and have had to since put a lot of capital into changing some of that around. I think we also tried to do things in-house a little too much. If I was to go back and tell a young entrepreneur that wanted to start any sort of a CPG brand, I would say, yes, you need to bootstrap some things. You do need to put your own money into it. You're going to be running on really lean budgets, but we tried to manufacture everything in-house. And I see a lot of CPG founders doing that. And I get it. Your gross margins are going to look a lot better on paper. But you don't really have the ability to pinpoint your budgets, like how much is the real facility and labor costs and this and that. So we're completely changing over to what's called a co-packing model, and we're focusing on our brand. We're marketing and selling our brand now rather than being a manufacturing company. And I think the sooner a brand can do that and focus on being a brand, I think the better. You'll just avoid a lot of very big headaches, costly mistakes. those are two completely separate businesses, right? Manufacturing
They
and
really are. Yeah. There's so many components of a business that when you're a founder, you end up wearing so many hats, right? There's the marketing and branding, which when you're a product like you guys, where you're trying to get pickle shots out there and distributed, I mean, awareness and getting people hyped on this is probably a huge part of the business. What have been some of the most surprising wins that you've had while you've been getting started?
yeah, I mean, in the raising capital side of it, we've been pretty lucky a few times, to be honest with you. Luck, blessing, whatever you want to call it. There's been some good, one of my friends' dad sold a business. He came to me and said, "Hey, do you guys need an investor?" We didn't even really need one necessarily. We were kind of starting to cash flow, but it's like, hey, we could do some damage with a little bit of capital. That was a surprising win, especially now looking back, because the landscape of raising capital is hard. It's really hard. So the fact that early on we had somebody come to us, and then one of his best friends, ended up investing in us as well. That's been a somewhat surprising win. It's a loaded question, to be
Yeah,
honest
well,
with
there's a lot there, right? And I'm sure
you.
if when you look backwards, there's probably lots of little milestones that built upon each other. How many states are you guys in now? And so far, what distribution, either state or specific location, really hyped you up the most?
Yeah, so we're currently now in 14 states. We'll be in 17 or 18 by the end of the year. This year's been a year of big growth. We started the year in 4 states. Most
Wow.
states, we weren't really doing anything in either. That was a big learning curve. And I'm sure this is just in general CPG. You can't just give your distributor the product and expect them to sell it. You've got to have some sort of a game plan, and you got to really incentivize them. They've got a portfolio of things they're selling. So a mistake we made was when we first expanded states, we just put it in the distributor's hands and we're hoping for success, which that's happened for some people, and it's happened for us in a few states this year. But we've just realized, like, you do have to kind of micromanage. Each market is different. Each market is its own beast, and you have to maneuver it in those different ways. Colorado, it's a pickle shot place. That's why we came up with the idea. People make pickle shots at the bars, and that was kind of where we saw the white space was, well, hey, you can't find it in retail, and all these bars are making it themselves. Let's streamline it for them. Let's make it cheaper for them, and hopefully make a better product, right? So Colorado kind of gets it. We've done consistent sales here. We've been in almost 1,000 accounts here for a while. Our reorder rate's up over 80%, so it means people are buying it. Colorado will always be the hype, but man, the Midwest likes pickles, is what I've learned. We're crushing it in Kansas, Nebraska. We're about to expand to Oklahoma and Missouri. So, yeah, different thing. I thought California, where you're at, would crush it, and it does. But that's not really a place to set a trend. It's a place where trends take off. So we're working on that right
Yeah.
now.
The challenge that I think people underestimate about California is the number of subcultures, right? It's not like the California culture. I mean, even in LA, you have 10 different subcultures, right? Or more. I always say every coastal city along the coast has a different culture. And so it's a lot more unique and varied than people realize. And so, yeah, it's it's huge. It's just a huge market. But what, you've got some cool stuff happening. You're building this. What was the moment in this journey where you were like, you know what? I think this is going to work.
Yeah, I love that question, because I'll be 100% honest. The moment was when it hit my brain, like seven
I
years
love it.
ago. And I'm dead serious. I think ever since that popped in my brain, I was like, we can really do something. There's been plenty of moments since we started the business where I've wondered, I question it, like, is this really going to be what I think it can be? Maybe I did overhype it in my brain, and there's going to be so many yield signs you come along the way of, like, man, maybe I could sell it. Maybe I could do this or that. Like, is this really worth all the grind and the sleep losing and the stress? But I've always believed in it. I think that's what separates a good entrepreneur is you have to have belief and vision. And then the reality of entrepreneurship, and I'm still in the thick of it. Last man standing. That's the reality of it. It's not the smartest man. It's not the best business plan. It's just the guy who punches last is the one who wins. So I'm still in the thick. I'm still getting there, but I believe in it more every day, man.
There's so much truth to the last man standing thing. There's a saying that I don't love, which is that they teach in business school sometimes, which is if you build a better mousetrap, everyone will beat down a path to your door to buy it. And I'm like, absolutely not. They won't even know about it. And
Yeah.
if you're not doing a good job, like, selling it or staying alive, the business won't even exist. So I love the last man standing concept. And I think you touched on something that we've been covering more and more recently, which is that entrepreneurs need to be a little bit delusional, right? Whether it's delusional ignorance or delusional optimism, whatever it might be. But then there's a little bit of like the athlete mindset too, right? And you were a baseball player. I'm sure there are games that you went into where you were the underdog, but you can't go in thinking we're going to lose, right? You've got to go in thinking you can win. And so how has that played out for you? Have you seen that be true?
Yeah, I love that you touched on like entrepreneurs are a little delusional because you kind of have to be, right? Like you're living in a little bit of a fantasy world. You're living in a world that's not present. You're in a future world, and that future world is like, this is what I want my life to look like. In order to, have that mindset, a lot of people just don't have that ability to vision themselves out into the future. And I think a lot of people are scared to be optimistic because they're scared to fail. And people, whether it's just something in their blood or something that they've been burned on in the past, like I think that takes a lot of people out of it because they're just like, I don't want to fail. And it's, as an athlete, dude, especially as a baseball player, you're hitting good if you're hitting the ball 3 out of 10 times. You're pitching good and you're throwing balls, you're hitting guys, you're throwing balls in the dirt. You're gonna have games where you go get lit up and you better get right back up. So that's just kind of, I love the correlation of baseball specifically, but sports. You're going to get drilled in football. You're going to miss a couple shots in basketball, but you just have to keep punching and not give up, right? And I do think entrepreneurs too are just, well, there's a lot of entrepreneurs that are former athletes, right? But on the other side of it too, it's just we are a little different. Like I am open to people. I think I'm a little off, like, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But I think there's a little bit of a strange requirement there.
Oh, for sure. I really enjoyed the way that you put that they're living in a world that doesn't exist yet, right? Like the idea that they see that the world can be different and it's their job to change it. And, not every business is I don't know. I want to say this in a way that's not disparaging, but not every business is like glamorous or fancy. Like yours is a business that is fun and silly and has a playful energy. What, do you ever have to like really find that line between being like keeping your personality and keeping the playfulness, but then switching and being into like, no, I need to be serious right now? Is it ever a challenge?
I think we've built the brand voice and the brand image as fun and silly, and that's just kind of already there. So like, no, on my end, honestly, as a CEO, there's not really a lot of fun and silly. It's already there. That's who the consumers like. That's the relationship they have to the brand and the feeling that they get from it. That's what we've built. But as a
I
CEO,
guess that's what I mean is like, do you think sometimes, do you ever catch yourself getting too serious? And like, you need to remember that you're building a fun company. Like this is supposed to be a fun brand.
yeah, probably. But I think at the same time, we're at a level now where it just is serious. And it's all different aspects of a business, right? Like when we're talking about marketing, you've got to be fun and unique and like get away from that serious side, right? It's like, I'm going to lean into that fun, quirky brand. Or when I'm doing sales and I'm pitching these reps, right? I go out and do trainings for our distributors. I'm flying out to Georgia next week to talk to 150 people, and I have to resonate with them in that same brand voice. Yeah, of course there's selling points where I can be really serious and, oh, this is how you sell. But at the same time, like this is its own unique proposition, right? And just the alignment with that is the fact that it is funny and quirky and silly. So my presentation kind of has to be aligned with that, which that's my personality. Like
Yeah,
I don't take life that seriously. So,
that's good.
yeah, it works out that way.
Do you think it's important that your investors and your other, the other team members have that similar mindset just to keep culture and spirits go in the right direction?
Yeah, it's important again in the sales side of things. Sales is stories, and to tell a story about your brand and to really, gauge the buyer or the person that is going to go out and sell your brand, you have to match that brand image. And in order to build the systems to do that, you got to have the right culture. You have to have the right people that are bought in and kind of fit that. And that's something that organically I think happens. Like, it's not like we wanted to go hire the silliest guy to be our VP of sales, but he just happens
Right.
to buy into the brand and love the brand, and like his personality matches the brand. So it just makes sense. Right. So some of that just
Absolutely.
happens organically.
So let's get really delusional here.
All right.
And let's talk in the next 2 years. What are some major accounts you want to land? And then I've got a follow up to that one.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the overall vision of this is market by market, brick by brick. Every market we go in, we want to be in at least 75% of liquor stores. We're really a heavy retail business, and we're really heavy into our 50 ml shooters. So, I don't think it's even delusional to say we should be in 75% of accounts. But I would say in 2 years, and I'm just speaking, it probably could sound delusional, but like what my brain says and what our vision is we will be in, at least 45 states within 2 years, and we'll be in 75% of accounts in each of those 45 states. Um, Getting from here to there is going to be a lot of work, a lot of grinding, a lot of doing things the right way and execution. And yeah, it could sound delusional because that's just it. It's going to take a lot of work. And it's going to take luck. It's going to take consumers to go out and buy your product. But it's realistic too. So
Yeah, I hear you. All right. The follow up to it is, if you woke up tomorrow and a celebrity or influencer or somebody was reaching out to you to rep the brand, who would the dream person be?
man, such a good question. Right now, I'm reaching out to some UFC fighters. That would be kind of funny. Like, if you think of a quirky, funny UFC fighter, obviously this is not ever going to happen. Like a Conor McGregor type of a person.
Wait.
Um,
We just said we're being delusional.
yeah,
There's
so
no,
give
it's never going to
Connor a
happen.
call, man. Yeah, give
Yeah.
Connor a call. I love like too, the like Bryson DeChambeau in golf. He's kind of funny and quirky. Um, dude, anybody that again, it does kind of match that personality. But I do like athletes because on another end, this is a pickle shot, and we all know what pickle juice is. It's hydrating, it's electrolytes. So trying to find some alignment within those two things is actually a current goal of ours, what we're trying to work on.
Yeah. What are some of those alignments? So it seems like golf is one of them. What are some kind of the crossovers of your target consumer?
Yeah, I mean, it's the health conscious drinker, right? It's somebody that does like to party, like to drink and send it a little bit, but actually does care about what they're putting in their body. I mean, yeah, you can take tequila shots and limes, but the reality is the number one shot in the world is Fireball. Fireball is really a lot of sugar. I can't down talk it publicly. It's a lot of sugar though. It's not very good for you. And you're not going to feel very good if you're ripping a bunch of those. And that's what people, especially like college age and young 20 somethings are doing. So this gives a healthier alternative to say like, you can go out, you can send it and have some fun, but you also don't, have to get diabetes to do it. So, no, it is. It's the electrolytes too. It's somebody that recognizes it. And then just pickles, man. Like, 75% of people love pickles and 25% of people can't stand them. But 75% of people that love them, like, really, really love pickles. And that's why everybody's coming out with pickle everything. Because if you like that flavor profile, you're gonna love it. And I'm a pickle lover. I'm a pickle guy. So those are probably the two biggest, super consumers we're looking at.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine if you're like, actually, I don't even like pickles. That would have just been wild if you're like,
My
yeah, I
business
just,
partner doesn't like pickles, so that's been a really weird thing. But he's the COO. He's doing a good job on what he's doing. So
That's good. We'll just keep him focused, and he doesn't
yeah,
need to try the product ever. Just let him keep working.
past that. Yeah.
All right. Like we didn't nail one down on that. What about like a dream investor or partner if they came to you? Do you have someone like that?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's somebody that I'll name drop. I was talking with Bob Meanery a little bit. He's big, full send guy. He's Nelk Boys. He might even have a little ownership in Happy Dad. I was talking to him, somebody that is kind of an influencer that, not only is going to maybe put some skin in the game and even just post about it, but they're going to be a real ambassador. I think it's Body Armor. They got Kobe Bryant, and the whole success of those founders is they say, we got Kobe Bryant. And the reality is you went to Albertsons, you went to Target, and you met with the buyers. And guess what? They're not going to say no to a meeting with Kobe Bryant. So it's finding somebody like that you say, okay, you don't want to meet with me. I get it. I'm just another brand founder, but I bet you're going to want to meet with, again, Conor McGregor, right? Like you're not gonna turn that meeting down, and then they're not gonna turn that sale down either. So
Yeah,
that would be a dream, is to find somebody like that.
absolutely. All right. Two more questions. You've got some great momentum. You're building a really cool business. It's fun. It's, it's exciting. Everything you guys are accomplishing. You've had some real momentum recently. What is one piece of advice that you have for someone who's a few steps behind you in this process?
Oh, that's again. I mean, I want to write books one day because there's so much to that. But simply put, I think it's stay focused and never quit, man. You're gonna have a lot of days that tell you to stop. You're gonna have a lot of things that tell you to, this sucks, this is hard, this is, maybe it's not gonna work out. But you just have to stay the path, stay the vision, be very strict with yourself that I'm not going down until this thing takes me down. That's
Yeah, I love
because
that.
that's just it, man. Like we talked about, last man standing. People quit, and that's probably the biggest separators. People quit when things get hard. Just don't quit. Keep punching.
Absolutely. All right. To me, business is not just about pickle shots and growing and scale. It's also about living a life that you love. So, what's one item on your personal bucket list you're going to accomplish in the next 12 months?
Oh boy, that's good. I'd say probably. Well, I take my family very seriously. I have two little daughters. Something I take seriously is you only get so much time with them. I heard a stat just yesterday that 75% of your time spent with your kids happens before they're 13 years old. So spending a lot of time with my children, and intentional, being really, really intentional, which is really hard as a business owner because you
Yeah.
say, at night your brain never stops. You got problems, but you got to be able to set it aside. And then more practically, I want to keep shaving strokes off my golf game. So maybe in the next 12 months, I'd say at least 2 strokes. Keep getting it down.
All right. Finally get to shooting, 75.
Yeah, not quite. We're not there yet. We're getting there. We're not there yet.
Awesome. Dan, thanks so much for coming out. Everyone, please go check out Dirty Dill. You can search for them on social, or I think the Dirty Dill Co. is where you'll find
Yes,
them.
Dirty Dill Co. on social media. Yep.
And then, and then Shop Dirty. What's the website? Shop Dirty Dill?
Yeah, it's on. If you just go to dirtydill.com, there's
DirtyDill.com.
a tab on the top that says shop. You can buy it online. Again, we're in 18 mark, or we're in 14 marks. We'll be in 18. You can go on the store locator and find us there too. Buy us direct. Hopefully, again, being delusional will be everywhere, so it'll be
I
easy
love
to
it.
find soon. Yeah.
Awesome. Dan, thanks so much for coming out on the show. And to all my biz ninjas, wherever you're watching, listening, or tuning in, it's your turn to go out and do something.